Right, so welcome to our live sessions, guys, and definitely today I'm expecting that a lot of people are pretty surprised with the most development coming out from the Middle East, but certainly if you guys have been watching, you guys should have been looking at how the market has been moving so far. And one of the main key things that we have been looking outright since the start of the day is how the market movement has been moving. And definitely one of the things that a lot of people have been noticing is how the gold market has been going higher across the day, and definitely I'm having a little bit of a doubt how long this market could be continuing, and definitely any updates could certainly affect the gold market movement immediately without any much of notifications, I would say. And let us try to see how this goes first, guys. Okay, so all right, one of the things that we are looking throughout the market right now is we are looking through 1 hour time frame charts, if you guys couldn't look at. And one of the main things that we are looking from this 1 hour time frame charts is how the consolidations will be building up for the current momentum to really see prices to go higher from here. Because if you guys do pay attention and notice how the market has been moving, every time it was near towards 3,430 towards 3,435, we have been seeing that prices always slows down around those ranges. So I think we need to be careful on this market, because if prices couldn't break out higher, I'm afraid that what we are going to see on the gold market the most, so we're going to just see a potential sideways range, and this is what I would be terribly afraid of. If there's no clear market movement, there's no clear trend, we couldn't utilize this momentum to do any bigger trades. So that's why I think it's very much important for us to be able to see that continuations on the market and not get stuck between support 3,410, 3,427, 3,430 area. And definitely I would love to see some greater market reactions immediately to get a better clue, because so far, yes, the market has been jumping a lot nearing the end of Thursday market session at around 11 p.m. and it was 11 p.m. at UTC time, so I'm expecting that should be around the morning side, 3 a.m., 4 a.m. prices on the gold suddenly jump pretty fast from 3,381 towards 3,440, which has also considered as breaking record prices already. But what I will be trying to look out the most is how the prices could be maintaining above 3,430 rather than just outright breaking higher and then going back lower, which couldn't give us a lot of clues where the next gold market movement will be. And definitely right now, from what I could be seeing so far, yes, the gold market movement has slowed down. And if we are checking on the silver market, just for instance, we are also seeing the same market reactions that initially, yes, silver prices do jump as well, but just momentarily, and then prices also slows back and ranging on the silver market. But I think today's biggest move should be coming out from the oil market, as we have already been expecting that should be happening on the market. And overall, we are still seeing that the momentum has still been pretty good after dropping towards $71. Prices has already been jumping towards $74.30, and I'm expecting to actually see all prices could be hitting $72 in the long run. But suddenly, with these new changes on the market, we immediately see that all market has been jumping higher with the development coming up from the Middle East saga. So with that alone, I think a lot of people and a lot of attention should be paid on the oil market rather than on the gold and silver market, honestly speaking, because right now, based on technical analysis on the short term, I'm not really seeing any big momentum for it to go higher for now, maybe at later hours, but definitely right now won't be a good time, because if I'm switching towards, let's say, 30-minute time frame charts, what we will be seeing is the potential weaknesses appearing on the market, guys. And that is certainly one of the key things I would say that could be dominating the trades for now, because so far we haven't been able to see a lot of market reactions, and there's also a potential double top forming out on this short chart, I would say, short period of time. So I think this is the chart that I think we should be noticing and trying to pay attention. If prices continues to break down lower immediately, that's a good thing. We could actually get a continuations and expect it to see maybe gold prices could be hitting 3,400 soon. But if we're not getting any market reactions, we'll be seeing that market will be ranging as what we have been seeing over the past 5 to 6 hours, ranging between these kind of ranges. It's also happened on the silver market, it's also happened on the gold market. Definitely I would love to immediately see a little bit of a bigger market reactions to know what is going on the market, guys. All right, because if prices are stuck and still rebounds 3,415, I'm afraid we are going to have a bit of a mundane market. But certainly if prices starts break down lower, we could immediately see a little bit of a market reactions, and probably we could see better market movement soon. Alright, guys. So definitely for now, if you guys are asking my view, what I'm seeing on the market for now is definitely I will be paying attention on how this gold market movement will be working. If prices starts break down lower 3,414, 3,413, there are good chances for prices to drop even further, and this could be a very good risk and reward ratio, even though I would say the market movement has been a little bit volatile, and definitely there are good chances for prices to drop after unable to break out higher initially that we have been seeing. Similar things are also appearing on the silver market too, so definitely I'll be waiting for further and bigger confirmations first, because silver market looks like it's going to test $36 rather than $36.16. And for the gold market, I think it will be much faster, testing the 3,413 mark, and we'll try to see how that works first. Okay, so far I'm not really seeing many reactions for now around these hours. It's always been the case, and definitely we'll try to analyze how's the view on the long-term market, on the best case scenario, on the worst case scenario on the market with you guys soon. But certainly, like I said, maybe pay attention on the all market movement. Could be something interesting, could be moving in a volatile way and could be hitting our trades really bad. That could also be the case. So I would say be careful and pay attention on what could be possibly happening on the market. Alright, so back on the gold market first. So the short-term view is I'm a little bit uncertain. I will be waiting for confirmations whether prices could be breaking out higher or breaking down lower. For now, it's a little bit hard to say. We have already been seeing prices has been ranging for the past 8 hours in a very similar range, 3,413, 3,415 towards 3,428, 3,430. So that's why I am still waiting to get that confirmations that once we got it, we could actually start to see a much better market reactions happening soon. So pay attention on these ranges 3,413, 3,428, because that will be a very key movement on gold. Before that, I'm expecting ranging movement. But what about the long-term market movement, as we have already been talking about? What could be happening next if we are seeing good things happening, prices breaking out higher? And what could be possibly happening if prices breaks down lower? Alright, so let us get into it. And let me switch to another chart. And definitely if you guys have been enjoying the analysis so far on the short term, and you guys are getting a little bit of analysis and insights how you guys could be doing your trades, don't forget to give us a thumbs up and likes, and don't forget to follow and subscribe, guys. Okay, so right now we are trying to assess through the daily charts first. So this is actually the signals that we are sharing on our premium signal groups yesterday, and we have been hitting 3 wins out of 3 signals that we are giving out on the gold market last night. And last night has been actually quite a good trade as well, even though market volatility is a bit slower, but certainly the market movement has been quite great. And you guys could see that we hit 3 TP1s, and that is certainly a good thing, a total of 200 pips. So if you guys are interested to get this kind of premium signals from us and for free, you guys could click the link on the video descriptions, and I'll let you guys know how you guys could get these signals for free. Alright, so back on this chart, let me just move this a little bit. Okay, so that you guys could see much clearly. So first of all, I've already been telling you guys 3,430, 3,435 could be a very important key resistance price for the gold market movement in the long run. And if prices could be able breaking out higher, we've already been seeing a potential of price breaking out of it and build up a cup and handle formations on these ranges, and even a possibility that we are seeing good chances that this consolidation is building up a bigger chart pattern on the long run, building up a long bull flag if you guys are watching carefully, because based on this bull flag, and it could be going up pretty fast, but just for us to be a bit more conservative, let us just try to focus based on the chart pattern that has been formed since the 21st of April, hitting the high at 3,500, even though it's slightly going back lower afterwards. This consolidation has been building up pretty long, and if prices starts breaking out higher, 3,435, cup and handle formations at the very least, we could achieve 3,600 price target on the long run. But if not, if you guys are trying to be much more conservative and try not to be over reaching your targets, maybe you guys could try to aim 3,500 as your next price target on the long run if prices could sustain its price movement beyond 3,430 and stays above 3,430 on this daily chart. But what happens if prices couldn't sustain its price above 3,430? So based on the long-term market, we are likely to see that market will still be moving on these ranges between 3,200 towards 3,400. And it isn't a bad thing if prices couldn't go higher, but it's just we are going to see a little bit of a calmer market and a little bit of a mundane market, so to say, because we are not really getting a lot of market trends that could be happening on the market if prices couldn't break out higher, as we have already been mentioning to you guys, and a possible pullback if prices couldn't break 3,350. Okay, so that's the best case, and that's the worst case scenario and the best case scenario that we have already been giving out to you guys. Hopefully you guys get a little bit of idea what could be happening if prices break down lower 3,410, and if prices break out higher 3,430, so that you guys could get a little bit of idea what could be the maximum price movement in the long term. Okay, alright, so let us go back on the short term market movement. On the 30-minute time frame charts should be more than enough for us to actually see what's moving on the markets and try to assess things from there. Okay, so far we haven't been able to see much here. Prices are still ranging and not really giving us a lot of signs, but like I've told you guys, if prices starts to move lower 3,413, 3,413, 3,415, 414 below, we could start prices break down lower. But for now, prices are still trying to maintain its price, but certainly the downward pressure is really high. And if I'm not wrong, US dollar index is still going higher, and that should be giving a little bit of pressure on the gold market as of now. So I think maybe sooner or later I'm seeing the chances for prices to break down lower is much higher on the short term rather than going to go higher. So I'm definitely expecting to see 3,400 soon to be happening on the market, guys. Alright. So what are you guys thinking? Are you guys thinking that, okay, I should be seeing that the gold market should be bullish, or are you guys seeing that gold market should be bearish. I'm actually very much interested to see what are your views, what are you guys seeing, and what are you guys thinking about what could be the next market movement. Alright, so as I've told you guys, I've seen the chances for drops is happening. Make sure if you guys are trying to do positions on the gold market, I hope that you guys have been thinking about doing shorts rather than doing longs, as I've already been telling you guys over the last few minutes that the possibility for prices to drop is much better compared for prices to go higher with the current weaknesses that we are seeing on the gold market as of now, because we are also seeing one of the things that the US dollar index is strengthening, and that is certainly a key sign that we could actually start to see gold prices should be under a little bit of a pressure, and rather than going higher, and there's chances to be making some good profits on the lower side. Maximum maybe 3,408, but that should be more than enough for us to see a little bit of a market movement that we have been expecting to start moving much better, and maybe some profits to be made. and also for the silver market, we could also be seeing the same thing. So if you guys are trying to do some trades, I'm hoping that you guys are seeing the shorts positions on both gold and silver for now, even though we haven't been touching on the silver market movement, but certainly the trend is very much similar from what we have already been discussing slightly. So I hope you guys have been able to make some good trades, and if you guys have been able to make some good movements in the market, and you guys could avoid some good movement, avoid some bad mistakes, you guys certainly could follow and subscribe, and don't forget to follow. Then don't forget to give us your likes and thumbs up, and share this video with your friends so that you guys could analyze the market together and learn together with us here on the live streaming sessions, guys. All right. For now, yes, price movement is a little bit slow. I do agree, same thing on the silver market, but since we are not really seeing a lot of market reactions on the gold market, maybe you can take this time to try analyze what's happening on the silver market, as we haven't been touching on the silver market analysis for today. So let me try to see on that market. So first of all, if you have already been trying to look at the silver market for today, it's actually been pretty similar with what we are seeing on the gold market. The prices has been relatively stagnant, and even worse on the silver market, the stagnation is even longer than expected, and not a little bit of a surprise anymore, since we've already been seeing that silver prices tends to move on the sideways on a longer period of time when that happens. And on the case when that happens, it's going to be a pretty long movement, I would say, and pretty mundane movement from what we can see for now here. And from here onwards, we started to see that there is some good market reactions that we can expect from here. And one of the things that we are looking right now is prices has been ranging since Wednesday, I would say, and overall the market movement has been giving us not any clear chart patterns or any clear trends, and right now this could be a very tough market to trade. But certainly if you guys are trying to do the buys near the low, sell near the highs could be the best strategy, but it really needs to be suitable with your trading style. If you guys are trading on a sideways and you love to trade on those ranges, then this could be the market that you guys are watching for, especially with the ranging market that we have been seeing so far. But for me personally, I would say this is a little bit of a tough market to crack, and I will try to avoid it as much as I could, because most of the time we could be seeing these ranges and not getting a lot of results. Could be the worst case scenario, guys, on the market with this kind of movement. But certainly after the news last night, we started to see that prices has been hitting the high $36.50, and its highest we are hitting $36.64 before prices ranging, and hasn't been able to allow us to give any clear market momentum that we are expecting. And right now the momentum, yes, it has been weakening, but still again, we are still stuck between the ranges and support area at $36.15 at the moment, but the momentum is still weakening. And probably we could be seeing that prices would be rebounding and ranging between $36.15 to $36.45, because we are not really seeing any clear signs, not seeing clear momentums. I'm expecting that this will be a little bit of a boring market, and I'm afraid that could also spread towards the gold market, because so far from what we have been seeing, that prices always tends to rebound and try to play in between the ranges, and so far that is the market that we have been watching. And I'm afraid that this could be a little bit of a mundane market until after the US market session starts to open, and a few hours after that we could actually start to see a much more clearer market reactions happening afterwards. If not, I'm afraid that this is the market that we need to experience and try to see out how that works. Okay, but certainly right now it seems that prices are still again rebounding. The support, the 3,412, and its lowest 3,411 has been, I wouldn't say it's a small sum, 30 pips, not really big, not really small, but not really meaningful in terms of the overall swing movement that I've been expecting. So we'll see how this market movement works. Overall market movement has still been ranging so far, guys. Okay, So my expectation is to see possible drop to a 3,408, 3,410 before we could see actually prices starts to rebound. Before that, I'm expecting that prices should be a little bit slower and ranging on these ranges that we have been talking about on gold, and the same thing on the silver market. So yes, it will be a long night, it will be a slower market movement, and it's going to be very testing market for you guys. And definitely if you guys are saying, alright, this could be a harder market, can I try not to trade at all? Yes, certainly you guys could, because with this kind of market movement, tendency to make mistakes is pretty much high with this kind of ranging market. And maybe the best solution is to try to avoid it at the moment if there is certainly not any great setups forming out on the market. Okay, so prices continue to drop as we've already been talking about. So if you guys haven't been making any moves, right now could be your time to make some good entries at the current price. Okay. Okay, so far we haven't been able to see any meaningful market movement here, and I believe we should be seeing the same kind of market reactions also happen on the silver market, where we are still seeing that silver prices and gold prices are trying to rebound around these ranges, and we're not really going to see a lot of clear market movements coming out from this kind of movement, guys. So I think we'll try to analyze on how the other market movement has been moving and try to see is there any meaningful market movement on the other sides of the market. Right, so maybe right now let us try to take a look closer on the all market movement, since market movement on the all has been a little bit volatile and maybe there should be some opportunities happening. Okay, so for now, if we are looking through the daily charts, it's very obvious I've been very bullish and I've been sharing my analysis a long time ago about how the market could be moving higher and how positive and bullish am I, and I've even set out the target for long-term market movement. The all market should be able to hit $60, $75, $72 on the long run, because based on the market consolidations that we are seeing, there's a good chance based on the technical analysis we should be able to see all prices to go higher, and suddenly prices just hits higher in a single day movement, and it's all thanks to the escalations coming out from the Middle East, and those updates really help to push up all prices as far as we can see. And based on those movement alone, we started to see that there are good chances for all prices to even hit back to its $78, as the highest price for tonight has been hitting there. So certainly there's a good chances for prices to hit towards those area in the future. But for now, I think we'll be happy to see how prices will be trying to range at around $73 towards $75 with this kind of momentum. And I'm expecting that we should be able to see a little bit of a slow market movement on the long run, as prices has been a little bit volatile due to the updates, but afterwards I'm expecting that prices should be slowly going back higher. But at the meantime, as we have been seeing that prices always a little bit slow, I'm expecting that right now after that big jump we should be able to see a slow market movement too. And if we are switching towards the 1 hour time frame charts, you can actually see that the all market movement has started to slow down as well. After that big jump in just 4 hours, prices jump approximately 10%, 12% towards its highest, and afterwards we are already seeing that prices has already been slowing down a little bit and having a little bit of a rebound, but afterwards we are not really seeing any clear momentum that prices is going to go back higher than the $74.58, as prices has also started to slow down. So definitely I'm expecting that prices should be consolidating, trying to build out another support before prices to go higher later on in the future. Before that, I'm expecting that prices should be trying to slow down a little bit and try to build up the consolidations for prices to go higher in the future. Okay, but if you guys are asking me what's my long-term view, I'm still bullish, guys. It hasn't been changed, but certainly a little bit of a slow market will be a greater movement for the all market in the long run, as if things has been going up quite fast, it usually wouldn't be lasting quite long. So I'll be expecting a pullback, maybe the healthiest to $71, like the ones that we have been seeing earlier on in the market, before prices could continue to go higher later on. Alright, so that's my view, and let us see how this market movement works, whether prices could immediately go back higher, but I'm not really seeing the case for that, as things have started to calm down. Stock indexes also started to have a rebound out of the market, so we'll see how that goes. And gold market also starts to calm down a little bit. Prices hasn't been able to go higher, so we'll see. Short term wise, selling pressure is still there, as we have already been discussing earlier on. Same thing for the silver market too, so we'll see how that market movement will be working on the silver. It's going to be a bit trickier on this, and gold still has some room for the downside. And yes, you guys know that gold is relatively likely to move based on the updates, and silver will be a little bit trickier at some point of times. So if you guys are enjoying our live streaming sessions so far, you guys are welcome to follow and subscribe. And if you guys do enjoy and get some insights on the market and the technical analysis side, you guys are welcome to share us your support by giving us a thumbs up and likes. And if you guys are interested to learn together with your friends or anyone that you guys know who is interested to learn to trade, you guys are also welcome to share this video with them, and you guys could have interactive discussions with me about what are the problems you guys are facing on trading, and I hope I could help you guys. So you guys are welcome to ask me any questions on the chats. Alright guys. Okay, so it seems that prices are still trying to rebound from the lows, and we are likely to see that continuing also on the silver market. So it will be a tougher market on the oil market, the gold market and the silver market for now, based on what we have been seeing so far, and I'm expecting to see a much better market reactions on the oil market later on. Okay, so since we've already been discussing what's happening on the gold and the silver, and if you guys do notice that behind the gold and silver there's a US dollar index, so it's also a part of the correlations of the market. Whatever happens on the US dollar index could definitely impact the gold and the silver market movement, and maybe let's try to discuss and analyze what's happening there, because we're not really seeing any great market movements here for now. So let us try to take a moment and discuss and analyze what's happening on the US dollar index. So actually on the US dollar index, there's been some breakthrough happening since the Middle East escalation, and if you guys are watching through the long-term time frame charts on the daily charts, you guys could actually see one thing that is a very clear thing happening on the market, which we are seeing that the US dollar index has been weakened a lot, and based on that alone, we have been pretty much optimistic to say that the US dollar index is still a long way to go on the lower side rather than going higher or having the potential to rebound, guys. Despite, yes, $97.70 has always been a strong support area, and that is also happening last night and today, where prices has been breaking down lower and immediately recover its footing and rebound at those prices. So maybe that could be the floor support for the US dollar index, as prices has always been able to rebound from those lows at $97.70. And if you're breaking down on how the price movement works pre and after the war, we could actually see it very clearly that after the war happened, we started to see that the US dollar index just keeps on dropping from $98.20, and at its lowest even touched at $97, and that is certainly a big drop before prices rebounded as things started to calm down a little bit. And we also started to see that the US dollar index rebounded pretty quick, and $97.70 has actually acted as quite a good support area, and there's a possibility we could see that prices will be testing the resistance area at $98.36. So we'd love to see how that works. Personally, I'm still seeing good chances for that to happen, and right now we are still seeing that the market has been a little bit slow and a little bit uncertain. So we'll try to see how the next market movement works, as prices are still rebounding and there's no really clear trends as of now on the other markets. And right now we are also seeing that US dollar index has been able to rebound and return towards the ranging range between $97.70 to $98.20, which is literally the same thing as what happened yesterday, and we haven't been able to see a lot of clear market movements so far. And with this kind of market movement, I'm expecting that earlier on we should be able to see that currency has been strengthening against the US dollar, and right now they have been weakening back. And if we are trying to track those movements, we can actually see that very clearly on the market, where we initially see that the US dollar index, yes, it has been under pressure, but also at the same time we started to see that safe haven currency dominated the market movement earlier on, where we started to see that Japanese yen has already been leading the pack together with the Swiss franc. So those two currencies has actually been moving much better than expected, and afterwards we started to see that prices also started to rebound on most of the market ranges. And you guys could see that the strongest pair started to weaken, the weakest pair started to rebound, and most of the mixed currency is still relatively the same, with the currency mentioned at Euro, GBP, and the Canadian dollar has been moving in a particularly similar fashion since the market started, and not really a big changes so far. And where we started to see that the US dollar index weakened, right now it has been rebounding as well, similar with what we are seeing on the Australian dollar and New Zealand dollar. And definitely with this kind of market movement, initially trading pairs against the Japanese yen has been going quite weak, especially AUD Japanese yen and NZD Japanese yen. Right now prices should be hitting back the neutral range and hasn't been able to move much, as prices are counteracting both of them immediately after that kind of market reactions. And based on that alone, we are seeing that tonight's market movement is still leading towards the US dollar index for now, until any changes could happen again. As usual, that the momentum on the currency market is usually a little bit short-lived. Maybe it's going to take a day or two to actually see that clear changes on the market and the momentum ongoing with the current market trends on each of the currency pairs. But certainly based on tonight, we have been able to see that the US dollar index is the strongest. Weakest pair is still coming out from the New Zealand dollar, so we'll try to take a look at those markets with you guys together. And since US dollar index is still strengthening so far, not showing any signs of slowing down, this should be a good sign in the market, guys. Alright. So AUD USD, guys. Alright. Okay, so earlier on we started to see that the AUD actually still remains quite weakened despite the weaknesses appearing in the US dollar index, but we do know that the US dollar index didn't go weaker as what we are seeing happening on the Australian dollar, and as a result we even still see that during the changes Australian dollar still weakens a lot and prices are keeping dropping lower and lower against the US dollar index for tonight, and the overall trends are still showing that prices should be able to continue to weaken. And also if we are comparing it against the NZD USD, it could be very much in a similar fashion and even dropping even much further compared to the gold. I mean compared to the Australian dollar, as we are seeing that both trends on the Australian dollar and New Zealand dollar is pretty much similar with one another. And definitely this could be considered to do a short on this market pairs with this kind of market momentum that is appearing on the market. So this is definitely up for a thought for you guys to try to trade on the short for this current momentum that is still appearing against AUD USD and NZD USD. So let us see what else that could be an interesting market trade. So US dollar Japanese yen could also be one of it, as the US dollar index keeps on strengthening against the Japanese yen, and definitely as prices started to rebound, 143.7 prices right now has been rebounding by a total of 70 pips, so it's definitely a big change, and the momentum should be continuing to 144.74, so there's a small room for an upside, and you guys could definitely try to utilize that momentum as the Japanese yen is still weakening, together alongside with the US dollar CHF. But it seems that the US dollar CHF movement is a little bit fishy, I would say, so I think I'll be avoiding that, but maybe US dollar Japanese yen could have a bigger market movement and a better movement. So if you guys are asking me what are the possible good trades that could be happening on the market, so AUD USD for shorts, NZD USD for shorts, and right now GBP USD is also weakening at the same time. So I think you guys could consider all of these currency pairs that you guys could trade short against the US dollar index, as the US dollar index has been doing quite strong. So US dollar against most of the other currency pairs should be doing very well in the next few hours if there's no big changes happening, and the US dollar index keeps on continuing to go strong, you guys. Alright, so definitely GBP USD could also be up for contenders to do shorts as the momentum is still continuing. Topping phases is also building up here, unlike what we are seeing on the Australian dollar, started to be hitting the lows. So definitely could consider NZD USD and GBP USD move for shorts for tonight in the currency market, guys. Alright, hope that helps you, and certainly you guys could pick the strongest and the weakest pair and try to find the most recent momentum that is appearing in the market, so that you guys could try to make a pretty quick bucks at the earlier trades. Okay, Okay, so based on the news that we have been watching, it's literally not much of a issue, I would say. The escalation is still ongoing, nothing much has changed, and okay, so it seems that the conclusion is that the tension is still ongoing, there's no signs of weakening, but at the same time, we're not really seeing any bigger responses happening on this market, where we have been seeing that the gold has remained relatively ranging and not really showing us any clear signs. Same thing happening on the silver market, also shows the same thing. So it's a bit of the mundane market for both of them. Meanwhile, oil still trying to build up a consolidations for now, and I think the best options right now to trade is appearing on the currency market. Prices continues to weaken against the US dollar index for most of the pairs, but I would say a little bit be careful if the prices are near the support area, since prices has chances to rebound first after such a big momentum dropping. It's always been the case, so I'll be a little bit careful here. Okay, US dollar Japanese yen also started to slow down. US dollar CHF definitely is a little bit fishy, so maybe you could start to see the US dollar index to slow down. Maybe that could be the case, so that's why we started to see that most of the currency are right now gaining some support against the US dollar index, and that maybe could be the chances where we start seeing possibility that gold could be going higher. Who knows, guys? Certainly right now I couldn't say for sure with this kind of market reactions, guys. Okay, and if you guys are interested to get more information about how the evolvement and how the updates are happening between the Middle East escalations, you guys are also welcome to click the link on the video descriptions and chat me that you guys wanted to join the VIP live sessions. I'll be giving you guys access towards it, and you guys could get more information about it as well. Alright, Alright, so since we still have some time and there's not a lot of interesting things happening on the market, maybe let us try to analyze what's happening on the stock indices, guys, because the stock index hasn't been moving well after the updates, and let us try to analyze what has been happening. So one of the main things that last night I've told you guys, if as long as the US 100 or Nasdaq 100 could stay above 31,800 and maintain its movement and stays above there, we could actually start to see some good chances that the Nasdaq 100 could start hitting 22,100. And what happens afterwards? We started to see that the US 100 starts to slow down, especially after that breaking news happened last night, exactly at around morning on my time zone, so I don't really see that yet. At around 4 a.m. and price just drops very fast in response of the news. And right now we are starting to see that the market is consolidating near the low, but if you are trying to watch at the daily charts, it's actually considered as a very particular normal market reactions. However, with the news and all of the things that has happened, it is deemed as quite a serious event, and people are also reacting. I'm also reacting towards it. For now, as price movement has been a little bit slower over the past 3 to 4 days, movement has been ranging around those ranges, 21,390, exactly the low at around 400, and towards its highest 22,000 area. But since then, we haven't been able to see any clear market movements. So for now, I think I'll try to stay on the sidelines with this kind of market movement, because we're not really getting any clear breakouts that is happening as of now. And I'm expecting the same thing should be happening on the SP 500 as prices are trying to break higher. But as of now, we are still seeing that prices has been ranging. Yes, the momentum to go higher is still there, but as of now, we are not really seeing any clear market movement to go higher, especially after the updates on the Middle East escalations, guys. Right, so I think I'll try to see how that works, and we'll determine how the next market movement will be. Personally, I'm still a bit bullish, even though right now we are seeing that market has been still having a healthy pullback so far from what I could be seeing. Maybe the next market movement could be taking some time before we actually start seeing a possibility that prices could be going higher, but right now it's going to be a bit slower, guys. Same thing also happened on the US 30. Yes, prices are still remain going higher. Yes, this is certainly a bit of a big surprise. Prices are right now testing the support, and definitely it's considered a big drop during its lowest price. So we'll see how that goes. Overall, stock indices are suffered a blow, and the momentum is likely to go higher, guys. But right now, we are still seeing ranging market movements and couldn't do much for now. So I wouldn't say it's a top, but it's a bit of a ranging move for now as prices failed to broke down lower, guys. So it's going to be a bit of a pouring market for now, guys. Alright. Same thing as well for the silver market. And all markets started to slow down too. So I think everything has been moving very much in line, I would say. So if you guys are enjoying so far our analysis on a whole lot varieties, you guys are welcome to give us your support by giving us your thumbs up and likes, and don't forget to follow and subscribe so that you guys don't miss out on any information that I'm sharing on our earlier live streaming sessions. It's always been the case, and I hope you guys don't miss out on any important information the next time. So hope you guys do follow and subscribe so that you guys could always be notified whenever we are starting our live streaming sessions. And if you guys are interested to get trading plans like the ones that you are seeing on your right hand side here, with a clear trading plan, entry price, stop losses and target price, you guys are welcome to click the link on the video descriptions, and I'll show you guys how you guys could get these signals for free. Alright guys? Okay, so if you guys do have any questions about the markets, you guys are welcome to chat me on the chats. I'll be reading it. So far I'm not really seeing one of it, So I hope you guys are enjoying it so far. I hope you guys have been able to make some good decisions in terms of the trades, and definitely if you guys have been making trades and you guys are seeing that market hasn't been going away, one of the things I could say to you guys is you guys could try to limit your positions and limit your lot sizes so that you guys don't get hit with such a big losses, as market is still been ranging as far as we can see, and it seems there's no way for prices to change a lot for now. So I'm expecting that price movement will be much better later on after breaking out higher or breaking down lower, and so far I'm not seeing one of it happening yet. And the same thing for silver is still the same, nothing much for now. Prices are still ranging, especially if you guys are watching through the 1 hour time frame charts. It's going to be a lot boring. Same thing for the gold market, still ranging too. Nothing much for now. Okay, and I believe same thing should be happening on the oil market. Prices are still pull back, slowing down, trying to build a consolidations again. So it seems it's going to be a long night, guys. And most of the currency has started to rebound against the US dollar index, so I could safe to say that momentum has started to slow down against the US dollar index. US dollar index starts to weaken again for once. Yep, it's happening across all the markets against the US dollar, and stock indexes is also relatively trying to break out higher, but we'll see how that goes. It's also happening across the other markets as well. Alright, so back here, we'll try to see whether we could actually be lucky enough on the live streaming sessions before it ends to start to see any breakout that could be happening. If not, we are likely to see this kind of slower market movements for now. And definitely if you guys wanted to get this kind of trading ideas, right, the ones like this one, you guys are welcome to click the link on the video descriptions and you guys could get access towards this kind of premium signals for free. And all you guys need to do is click the link, chat me, you guys want premium signals, and don't forget, if you guys want to get the exclusive updates on what's going on in terms of the Middle East escalations on the news side, you guys are welcome to join my VIP live sessions, and you guys could chat me to ask for the VIP sessions as well. So far, there's not been any significant market movement. And if I'm switching towards shorter time frame, you guys can actually see that prices right now is trying to go down lower again. So it seems there's a little bit of a resistance at 3,424 area, as you guys could see. And we'll see how the price reaction works there. And so far, no more news is happening for now. So far, the currency market movement has started to weaken on the Australian dollar side, New Zealand dollar side, but I think for the rest, it's a little bit slower from what I could be seeing. Like right now, Euro USD started to slow down as well after unable to go higher. Same thing for the GBP. So we'll try to see how this price reaction works. And remember that tonight we still have another news that will be released at later hours at around 2 more hours. So it's going to be a long time before the news is released. But the biggest news of the event of this week has been released by the CPI data. So I don't really see any major news that could be coming out other than the sudden updates that could be happening on the market. Okay, so let us look back on the gold. Gold market hasn't been moving much for now. Alright, so we'll try to see out how this market movement works. Whether prices could be breaking out or breaking down lower or ranging. And in another few minutes, I'll be giving you guys a little bit of recap what is happening across all of the markets that we have been watching so far. And the science is not pretty convincing. It's a little bit of a slow market movement as well. That's what I could be getting out of the market for now. Okay, so it's almost about time when I'm starting to prepare for my VIP live sessions later on. So let me give you guys a little bit of recap what's happening on most of the markets. Alright, so we'll start from the gold market. As you guys can see, that market has still been ranging between 3,410 to 3,430. I'm not going to see any big reactions happening here unless we start to see that prices starts to drop below or starts to break higher than 3,430. Otherwise, I'm not going to really see any big market movement for now. And it's also the same thing happening on the silver market movement, where we are also seeing the ranging movement is a little bit much more static and hasn't been able to move much. And I'm going to see better market reactions once prices could be breaking out higher than those spots that we have been watching so far. And if prices has been trying to break down lower or break down higher, we could actually start to see some better market reactions. Meanwhile, on the oil market that we have been watching, I'm expecting to see that market will be consolidating first at around $73 before we could start to see better market reactions happening on the oil movement. If not, I'm not going to see a lot of market reactions for now, and prices are right now has been rebounding at $73, so we'll see how that works. If prices starts to go higher, that should be the case where we could see $74.80 could be the nearest price target if prices continues to go higher from here onwards. And with most of the currency market has started to slow down again against the US dollar index, I'm seeing there's good chances that you guys could try to trade against the US short against other currency using the US dollar index, as there's some chances, but pay attention and see how the momentum is going on this market. Meanwhile, on the stock indices, prices are still trying to break out higher, and we are seeing some good signs that prices on the stock indices has been able to go higher along with other risky assets. So we'll see how that development goes. But certainly, if you guys wanted to get more insights what's happening on the Middle East side, you guys are welcome to click the link on the video descriptions, and I'll share what I know with you guys and give you guys a little bit of a detailed timeline on what really happened. And if you guys want to get trading signals, you guys could click the link on the video descriptions and chat me you guys want premium signals. Alright, so I'll be getting off, and I'll see you guys on the VIP live sessions. If not, I'll see you guys next week. Have a wonderful weekend, guys.